Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. And this intro will work perfectly if I wasn't muted for the first 5 seconds. How's everybody doing out there? And welcome to the Amateur Otaku podcast. I am just one of your humble hosts, Brandon Alvarado, the Scarlet Fran, Monkey D. Braffy. Thank you very much. And I'm joined by the Amateur Otaku crew. We got Didge, we got Jamie, and we got Isaac. What is up, everybody? How's everybody doing?
Doing good.
Doing good. It's always a good day to talk about anime.
Look at you rhyming. I see you.
Isaac, I appreciate the snore and the quick mute just to let us know that you're just tired today. Arquinder, what's up, man? How you doing? Arquinder in the chat says, "Oh man, seeing the news about the Avatar shows really makes me interested in what you guys think about it." You know what? It's funny you should say that because today's anime spotlight is exclusively our first look or thoughts on Avatar and Netflix's. Let's be very clear about this. Netflix's Avatar: The Last Airbender adaptation. It's we got thoughts, so we're gonna share our thoughts with the world here in tonight's live stream. But we cannot start the show without going around the table and getting acquainted. We haven't seen each other in 2 weeks. We got issues coming out. We got anime going. Jamie, what have you been watching? What have you been reading? What is up with your New York self?
New York is New York. I recently ventured into Hoboken as well, so I'm getting the whole experience. But what I've been watching, a lot of the same as we've talked about the past couple of weeks. Been watching Delicious in Dungeon. I actually watched the episode before we got on tonight.
I'm a little behind on that one.
Okay. Everybody does. Okay, but no.
Well,
I've been watching that. We watched me, Didge, and actually AJ didn't watch Metallic Rouge, but Nia did watch Metallic Rouge, and that was a lot of fun. It's interesting. I feel like we're kind of in that mid-season, we're setting up for the finale. Things are kind of we're chilling a little bit. We're chilling. What else? Let me look at my list here. I don't think I've been looking at anything new as of late. I have been picking back up with Naruto.
Ooh.
Nice.
Where are you at right now?
So the most recent thing I saw, let me go to Hulu. I've been watching on Crunchyroll, but I've been kind of missing just listening to the dub, so I started to switch back over to Hulu. Oh my gosh, of course.
Oh, because Crunchyroll doesn't have the dub of Naruto?
They do not.
Does that make sense to anybody?
No.
How is it that the biggest anime streamer in America does not have the dub of Naruto?
Especially because I'm pretty sure Funimation had it.
Bruh. Hashtag Illuminati.
The most
Yo, did you know about tech, bro? You gotta hack this stuff, bro. You gotta make this.
Do it. No one will snitch on you except for the internet that we just did.
Naruto is lost due to rights issues, according to Arquinder.
See,
he's calling us to embrace our inner space cowboys. Just be outlaws.
Get them back. Figure it out, Hulu. Okay, so last episode I watched was 139, so I'm about to get into 140, and that's about the time Sasuke and Itachi fought. Itachi, spoilers for anybody that's like me, Itachi's dead. At least I think he's dead. I don't know. It seemed like he went down super quick, so I'm like, maybe he'll come back. I don't know. And now Sasuke is chatting with / doesn't really know. I don't know what's going on with him and Toby, but they're acquainted now. And yeah, Naruto and the crew are also fighting with Toby a little bit. So that's where I'm at with them.
You're in a good spot. Because I think right after that Itachi Sasuke fight in Shippuden is where things really start going, because Sasuke finally starts a new arc. You know what I mean? Like the whole thing with Itachi
Yeah.
gets a nice end / pause spoilers. But he literally is now trying to do something different, because he's trying to figure out what his next step in his life is going to be.
Yeah.
So I do like the idea. I do like that part of the series, because we're going into different territory with Sasuke specifically. Because if you think about it, towards the halfway of original Naruto and into those beginning episodes of Shippuden, Sasuke's in the same place. You know, it's still Sasuke trying to get to Itachi. It's not till after that fight and how the fight ends that he literally feels lost, because he's already done what he's been wanting to do for the last, I don't know, 600, 500 episodes of the show. So I think that's a good spot. And also Naruto having to come to terms with, well, whenever, if they ever meet up again. But yeah, spoilers.
Yeah. I mean, so I know a lot of what happens in Naruto because I've played the Ninja Storm games, but I just don't know like the details, you know. Listen.
it's like, hey, have you seen Naruto? I mean, I played Budokai. Does that count?
Finish Naruto, Jamie.
I'm doing it right now. I'm just telling you where I've been, my history, all of that. Okay,
that's cool.
I'm trying. But yeah, that's what I've been watching. I haven't read anything recently, but I have liked what's the sword one y'all talk about? It starts with the B.
Which one?
The sword. The guy with the like
Berserk?
special. No. The guy with the special swords. It's like new. It's a new manga.
Oh, Kagurabashi.
Yeah,
it starts with a K.
I remember the Bachi part.
That's where you
Yo, have you guys been reading that book? Bro, Hibachi is like fire. Wait, the food or the book?
Hibachi is fire.
Oh, wait, Hibachi
is
is
definitely
so I
fire.
messed up too. Bro, I could go from some steak Hibachi now, but my diet will not allow it.
You know, my profile picture has been Avatar themed for like 3 years now. But you know, the world finally caught up to me. Hey,
Arcwinder.
the world.
You got to get with the program. You're a member of this crew by this point. You should know these things. But that's awesome. So what do you think about Kagurabachi so far? Because I did a short on it as soon as it came out, because I found it so fascinating. I know you've been on that train.
It's
and
great.
that book is so good, and it's getting even better now. So have you written like the first 2 issues? Like, how far into it are you? And what are your initial thoughts on it?
Let me see. So my initial thoughts, very interesting, very wild. It feels like kind of mafia-ish, and I don't typically check out like mafia anime, not because I'm trying to avoid it, but it's just never. It's not like a huge category that I see people talk about a lot.
Yeah, Yakuza is a very particular like realm of. Yeah, and I like how Kagurabashi. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so I like it. I like the like that these different swords have these different abilities, and like there's 8 of them, 7 of them.
No, you're good. You're good.
8 of them.
There's 6 of them. There's 6 of them, but spoilers, but not a huge spoiler. There's 6 of them, which at least you don't know what they are. The big reveal of the ending of that first book, of that first chapter, is that before his dad died, he finished the 7th one, which is the one that he uses.
Yes.
And that plays a lot into the story and makes it very interesting.
And it kind of makes me think of like the art that they use to show, I guess, like the abilities of the sword of Chichiro's sword. Make me think of like Demon Slayer with like all the different like fluid
there's a little
elements.
bit of that. Yep.
So
especially
that's really cool.
Especially his, because it has the whole water like thing with Nishiki Enten and his the boy with the magic goldfish.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm on looking at it now. Last one I read was chapter 8, so I'll be on to chapter 9.
Ooh.
Hopefully soonish.
Nice.
I've been like trying to decide, do I want to keep reading Kaiju number 8, just wait for the anime to come out? I think I might continue
Read it.
to read it. Kaiju
You
number
gotta
8 is
read
so
it.
fun. It's super fun.
Welcome, AJ. And you're right, it is goated.
It is.
Read Kaiju number 8. I would even say, and this is, and see, as a person that reads way too much, I'm gonna tell you this right now.
There's no such
If
thing.
you need to drop Kagurabachi to get caught up with Kaiju number 8, drop it.
No, do both. Do both.
Bro, it's
Hold
not
on.
it's not
Both
it's not it's a okay, first off, Mike, have you seen your list?
What's your point?
What's my point? If you need to drop Kagurabashi to focus on Kaiju number 8, I would do it. But if you can do both, do both.
Drop
There's
something
like-
else.
There's 121 chapters.
Drop
See,
work.
watch
Drop
the
word.
chat. Yo, watch the chat come out of nowhere and be like, drop Naruto. And just
See?
just for
That's
Mike
how
to
it
be like,
starts.
no.
I did almost go
how
into
it
full
starts.
chaos and say that, but no, drop work.
She could drop Naruto. I don't know. Who cares? You know, it's her life.
See, AJ's bringing some cool
You
info here. The
care.
editors, AJ in the chat says, the editors of Kaiju number 8, Kagurabachi, and Sakamoto Days did an interview, and they were all great. I saw this on the Discord. I didn't get a chance to read them. Did any of you guys get a chance to check those out?
I'm
gonna have to.
That
And
message
probably-
completely.
So I have to come back to those. But I'm glad you're enjoying Kagurabachi. How many chapters have you read of Kaiju number 8, and what are your thoughts so far? Because that's another question.
I've read. Where's the last one that I read?
I like
No
that you write
way.
it down.
Also, oh no, I'm just looking at my app.
Oh, I was gonna say.
She's cheating.
Also,
Let her cheat.
coincidentally, 9 chapters.
9?
I don't
Nice.
know where it is, what it is about like the 9th chapter and something where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take a pause. But I've also read
5 years later. So what do you thought of us Kaiju number 8 so far?
Oh my gosh, man. It is so much fun. And I wasn't expecting it because I'm also like, I'm not a big kaiju person. I'm not against kaiju, but I'm also not like, oh, let me watch something because there's kaiju in it. But with this, I really like Kafka, the main character, and him he has this big dream, but he kind of sucks. But then he has the ability to not suck, which is great. We love to see that. And it's just so much fun. It's funny. The action is like super interesting. The cast is super interesting as well. I'm really excited to see the anime come out this year. I don't know when this year, but this year.
April, if I remember correctly.
Let's go. So not far away.
So Arkwinder in the chat says, no, the real smart idea is just to say Naruto had no sequel. See, I don't accept this. How dare you bring Boruto hate to this pod, bro?
The Boruto manga
No.
hitting right now. I cannot agree with that.
Hopefully Isaac doesn't wake up to defend the hate towards Boruto.
I'll be real.
Stay sleeping, okay?
Current
Isaac's a Boruto hater.
rivals peak Naruto.
The
right
Boruto
now.
manga is hitting right now. I can't agree with that statement. Arkwinder, I can't
AJ
agree
says
with
don't
you.
overwhelm Jamie.
It's too
And
late.
AJ says also in the chat, Kaiju number 8 is my third favorite series that I'm reading right now. Agreed. It is greatness.
It's very
now,
fun.
I believe, spoilers on Kaiju number 8, I believe you're starting the exam, correct?
Yes.
So how was it to find out that Kafka has a dream? He sucks. He gets the kaiju powers, and when they test for the suit, he still sucks. Like, how was that nice balance? See, that's one of the things that I love about that book. The way they handle the main character is so particular and refreshing in comparison to because it's written like a shonen manga, but it's not shonen because these freaking my age. He's like 30 something. So it's, I don't know. I see a little bit of Kafka in me.
Yeah.
A little bit of me in Kafka.
That's another like interesting thing about it as well. It's not like this young guy that's like, oh, I want to like do the thing and be the very best at it. It's like, this guy that his chance at achieving his dream is slowly slipping away. So he's like, you know what? Let me just like, let me give it my all, try it now, because I'll never have another shot. So that's also a really interesting part of the series as well.
Oh boy.
I love it.
See, I don't know how to feel about this. So Arkwin just says in the chat, the only thing I'm really following right now is Spy Family, and watching Hokkaido Gals are super nice. Anyone who watches the latter is real one. Also, Brandon seeing the Kaiju number 9 Pro Tech, he's literally me. Oh boy. Not 9. So Mike, we haven't had you in the pod for a while. What's going on with you? Have you been watching anything? Have you been reading anything? What is going on with your life? Talk to us.
Oh, that's awkward.
You may not know that you're muted.
Check the chat.
That's not so true.
Very good. Oh, Mike is on hiatus.
He was protecting from spoilers.
So, Didge, what have you been up to?
We'll
go back to Mike.
Watching a lot of anime, reading a lot of stuff.
Ooh.
I did write down my list. That's why I said I thought it was funny, Jamie, that you wrote down your list. I was going to say you're just like me.
In a way, I guess. In a way.
Oh man. Obviously the usual friend, Solo Leveling, Metallic Rouge.
Yes.
I feel like so many people are watching those. I just started watching The Fire Hunter. That's been pretty good so far. Only 2 episodes in, but it's an interesting plot. Essentially, like humans just lost. So humans, they essentially lost the ability to make fire and really be around it.
Ooh.
So they had to basically
make fire and to be around fire.
Yeah, so they can no longer make fire. I'm assuming it's because the fact that when they hit when they're around a natural flame, they spontaneously combust.
Oh,
so life had to go on with basically finding new ways for fire that killed all the technology. Essentially, it's like basically like a new Dark Ages. So that's an interesting one. I don't know the full plot yet, just because I'm only 2 episodes in, but it's interesting so far. Kingdoms of Ruin is another one that I'm watching right now, which is
that one right there.
That one's great.
But it's a slow burn, right? Like the first couple episodes, it's a lot, and you kind of don't know if you like it.
Yeah.
And then when you get to like episode 4 or 5, that's when it gets interesting.
For the first few episodes, the premise of it, like obviously I read it before it started, and I was like, this is keeping me involved, like it's keeping me engaged. So I'm excited to continue going through that one.
Nice.
Like Jamie said, Delicious in Dungeon. That's another fun one just to watch. Helk I'm watching right now, which I don't know if you guys. It's on High Dive. It's basically like the Demon Lord dies, so they have a tournament to bring up the next Demon Lord, and a human.
Pretty much the ending of Yu Yu Hakusho. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, fair. But they have the tournament for the next Demon Lord, and a human enters. And so now everybody's kind of suspicious, like, why is this human trying to enter? And he's just like, no, I hate all humans. So I want to become a demon lord. And they're like, I don't believe you.
Nice.
So it's interesting. It's a fun one. It's like it's on High Dive.
That's a nice flip.
Yeah.
See, High Dive got some gems though.
High Dive has some good ones. They have some out of pocket anime.
Yes.
But they definitely have some good ones.
Yes. Hence why Ochinoko is there. So, hey, Mike, are you good with your list? Did you got anything else?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
I do want to comment on Kingdom of Ruin. I started watching it, and to me, it had the opposite effect because it for those that haven't watched it, the first 2.5 episodes, it's all like crazy crap going on, and to me, it was kind of like, okay, what's the point? What are we trying to do? So I feel like, because it's similar to Frieren in the sense that, you know how Frieren starts with the end of the journey and everything calming down? Like, this is starting it's similar to Fairy in the sense that the show actually really starts after the big fight in the beginning.
But that's
Because when
it's a revenge plot, and I'm a sucker for a good revenge plot.
Yes, because it gets to a point where things are always, and then it just dials back down, and
Yeah.
that's where it actually got me. But no, it has a lot of great, interesting story and plot, especially the whole thing about. I like the mythology of how female mages pretty much are the angels that God sent to help humanity, and humanity turns their back on them because they favor technology and being in control.
Yeah.
Which is a very good parable there. And also the one you mentioned, the Fire Hunters. See, I want to check that out because I like the idea. One of the things that I love about, I think the best animes are the ones that look for certain moments in history and try to exploit them. And I love the idea of that, of fire, as anybody that knows a little bit of history, fire is one of the biggest, is the first big invention, and taking that away, everything falling apart. That to me is a very interesting premise. And the way you said it, like a new Dark Age, sounds pretty exciting.
Yeah, it was interesting because I like when you start off, you don't really understand immediately that like humans had fire at one point, because I thought it was like, okay, it's set in the past or whatever. And then like throughout the first episode, as they're explaining it, like sort of explaining the lore, you're like, oh, you see that they had it all and then lost it. Now I need to figure out how they lost it.
It's like a Dr. Stone kind of thing.
Yeah.
Is it like a does it feel, is it like a dark heavy anime, or does it have like lighthearted elements?
It definitely has lighthearted elements. Yeah. No,
Okay.
it's not all dark and gloom. Like it has its moments and everything. And it's very journey thing. Like you're following this girl and her dog on their journey.
Yeah.
So
okay,
it's a good one.
Cool. I don't know why, but I'm thinking about Fire Punch, but that is
I
just
thought about that too when he mentioned
a nuts book.
This sounds much more positive than Fire Punch.
Oh, trust me, I know. I just thought about fire, and Fire Punch is not for the weak of mind. Mike, it's been a while since we have during the show. So, what have you been up to? What have you been watching? What have you been reading? What's going on, man?
Watching, reading the usual suspects, I guess. Boruto, MHA. I'm reading the Dawn of Yang Chen right now. That is an interesting one. This is the first time we had an Avatar double up, essentially, where this is the second air Avatar to lead a story. So that's kind of fascinating how they approach that, seeing the air nomads' place in the world, because that is before they get wiped out. So that's a fascinating read. Also, I guess I read The Search, another Avatar book. Clearly my job required a lot of Avatar rereads the last week. The Search, learning what happens to Zuko's mother. Love it. I need them to animate that because that story is fantastic. If you guys haven't read The Search,
it's
definitely
great.
say do it, because it's a great epilogue to the original series and follows up on that story beat. Watching, I finally committed. I am watching Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. It's only 60 episodes, so I can get through it, and if I actually commit and do it. I am up to the point where I dropped it last time, so we'll see how it goes going forward.
So where did you drop it last time?
Which episode was that? Something girl dog. You get it.
Oh, yep, I get it. I completely understand.
Oh, so you barely even started. Yeah. Look at me, like being all supportive, right? Like you haven't even.
That's the crazy part, though. It's so quick.
Yes,
they get you that in episode 4, Brandon. Come on, man.
I know. See, but that is also the episode, or at least right after. Wait, are you past that, or did you just get that?
I just got back to that episode. Not gonna lie.
Okay, so you haven't dealt with the aftermath yet.
No, not yet.
Okay, cool. Because the aftermath to me is one of the most
epic flashbacks.
The aftermath of that event has one of the most interesting and coolest and scary introductions of a villain in almost any anime. So, to me, I think it was
Yeah, that episode is not what made me stop watching, to be clear. It's not like, oh, this is so twisted, I give up. It's more of, I don't like the pacing of these first 4 episodes because
Ooh.
it feels like it's dropping
Wait, you're
me
watching OG or Brotherhood?
Brotherhood. It feels like it's dropping me into a story that I'm already supposed to know what's happening. And I was actually talking to our friend Leo from Geekly Goods about this before, and he's like, they kind of rush through things because they are under the assumption that you kind of are familiar with the original anime or the manga. And it's like,
Interesting.
it's kind of hard for me to get into it. That's the thing that's why I haven't gone back to it. Not because that episode traumatized me. It was messed up, don't get me wrong, but yeah,
Oh, no. Yeah.
I don't know if I should.
The villain's interesting what comes after.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll power through, but I also don't know if I'd just be better served reading the manga. I don't know. We'll see.
The sad thing is that you can't read it anywhere unless you buy it.
That's
It's not the only thing. Like it's not available on Viz. It's not available on Shonen, which to me it's kind of crazy with
That
how
is
popular that
interesting.
series is. I mean, they have the entirety of Dragon Ball. They have the entirety of Naruto. They have the entirety of, and they own the rights to the Full Metal Alchemist book. Why is it not in the app without purchase? I don't know. But
That is really interesting.
but that's cool, man. I'm glad you're finally pushing through, man. Stay away from the live action movies.
Yeah.
I would say I strongly encourage you that once you're done with the show, or at least once you're 2/3 in, watch the Sacred Star of Milos. It's a nice OVA that it's a good complement to the adventures of the brothers. So I think it's a pretty good movie. It's pretty solid. I'm not going to recommend you watch the Sorcerer's Shambhala because that is actually the official ending of the original anime. So it's not really going to serve anything apart from showing very, very interesting and cool, scenes with Al. But apart from that, if you just watch Sacred Star of Milos, I think that's a good OVA to watch. So
noted. Also been rewatching Avatar: The Last Airbender for reasons. Nice. Great show. I'm in book 2 now. I love that season so much. It's so much fun.
No, book 2 is so strong. Like I'm probably 4 episodes in season 3, and it's great. But book 2 is fire, even though it's Earth. That's fire.
Yeah, book 3. Those until you get to like the mid-season finale, they're kind of meandering a little bit. Which I like the quote unquote filler like episodes because like we get a lot of cool character stuff. But yeah, they are just wasting their time until they get to the eclipse.
Yeah. The headband, great way to start book 3. All I'm saying.
Who doesn't love Footloose?
There you go.
Kevin Bacon.
I've never seen that movie.
You should
watch the Kevin Bacon one. There's pork in it. No, I'm kidding. Isaac.
Is that a selling point?
Isaac, just watch the Avatar episode. It's 22 minutes of the exact same plot. There you go.
It is.
Okay.
Look at us trying to share Western culture with Isaac. Don't watch Footloose. Don't watch the greatest superhero of all time, Kevin Bacon, according to Chris Pratt.
I mean, he's not wrong. He saved a town by dancing. Come on, bro.
Yes, he did.
Yes. Is anybody okay? This is out of crazy, but just because we mentioned Footloose, is anybody excited for Roadhouse? I know this is random, nothing to do with the anime, but the trailer looks crazy.
Because I've never seen the original, so
I don't need to see the original to be there no matter what. It looks awesome.
Yeah, I'm gonna be there for sure.
Yes. Conor McGregor being himself and not acting is, I think, it's fun in and of itself. Isaac, so apart from the fact AJ's excited for Roadhouse, yes. Isaac, so we know that you read as you breathe. So I think I'm going to change the question for you. No, I'm not singling you out, but I think it'll benefit the world. What have you read recently that blew your mind?
That blew my mind.
Yeah.
Oh. That's a hard one.
Honestly.
Oh, damn it. That's what she said.
I mean,
I'm trying to make
I
this
didn't say
easier.
anything.
I'm trying to make this easier, but apparently I can't.
The last two, the recent chapter of One Piece had one of my favorites spreads in a long time.
100%.
And JJK is insane as per usual. To the point that the leaks got trending. What was it? Top 3 worldwide on Twitter.
They were top 3 in the US for sure. I don't know worldwide, but
I saw
for
it
it to be a manga leak. That's still crazy.
Yes,
I saw it
because one of the biggest
also.
things that's never happened in the something happened for the very first time in the last 2 chapters, and it's pretty significant, funny, and powerful. So I get what you're saying, Isaac. I'm with you. Latest JJKs have been crazy.
And what else can I really say that blew my mind? Oh, the recent Chainsaw Man chapter is just
Yes.
Oh, hit me right in the feels, and I hope I'm wrong in what is gonna happen.
Yes, like Chainsaw Man. It's funny because for a while, Chainsaw Man in its intensity kind of like dialed down throughout the last 15 chapters, and then it's been piling up in intensity in the last 5. And now this latest twist, for those that have read Chainsaw Man know what I'm talking about. The latest twist, I think he's going for something weird and crazy like Fire Punch. You know how the whole thing with Agni, you know what I mean? Like the whole thing with Agni just changing gears like crazy because things just click in his mind. Like he's kind of doing the same thing with Denji. So I'm a little, I don't know what to think about what's happening, or the idea of he's waking up the way Denji's waking up and we don't know what's happened. But no, Chainsaw Man's been pretty nuts. Did you read the latest Sakamoto Days?
Yes, I did.
So good.
If I if I read my pretty much
AJ showing love in the shaft for Tower of God. I haven't even seen the anime, but the things that I've seen of the anime look phenomenal. They look great. So
that's fun.
Nice.
And well, if I put my list up, I would just go over it for an hour probably, but I digress. But when it comes to watching, well, it's sort of been the usual. I've also started rewatching 91 Days, which is one of my favorite animes of those I have yet to being able to buy. But and what else have you? Oh, no way. Now I forgot what I'm gonna say. Sorry, but yeah, it's been mostly the usual.
Nice. So to wrap up, I'm gonna keep this very simple. I'm caught up with the latest Blade Runner-esque manga, Shoujo Null.
I gotta catch up on that.
I like how it's getting a lot more exciting because it's shaking the main characters from their comfort zone and it's moving the plot along quite nicely. So I'm really excited. I finally got delivery of volume 13 of Psalm 100, Bucket List of the Dead. There's a total of 6 companions now in the crew. For those that love season 1, I really hope we get a season 2 announcement very soon because I can't wait for you guys to meet the other members of the Psalm crew. I started 2 new books. There's this new manga that came out recently called Astro Baby. It is really weird. It's about this meteorite that arrives at Earth, and when it crashes, it unleashes these parasite-like beings that literally possess people and make them into zombies.
Oh no.
which is weird. But the funny thing is that there isn't an outbreak because these parasites cannot replicate. So all of these little monsters are cornered to a specific corner in the world, and it's like they're like in a big quarantine zone. And this kid finds this baby that is a superior that has been hijacked by a superior strain of these aliens. It is super weird. It's called Astro Baby. It reminds me of there's this one old Jordan Carpenter film. I think it's called They Live, where this guy is able to recognize all the people that are like aliens with special sunglasses. I don't know if any of you guys.
That's the name.
Oh,
of
that
it.
does sound
Yes.
familiar.
So it's a crazy, weird anime. I think they have interesting ideas. Not so sure if I'm going to keep reading it, but Astro Baby came out. It's like in its third issue, and I started an old book. It's called Orange.
Orange.
I dig sci-fi. I dig time travel, and this is a slice of life book.
Oh,
premise-
that one.
And the I'm glad that you told everybody what it is, Isaac. But your reaction. The premise of the book, I want to see what you guys think about this. So this girl starts middle school or starts 11th grade, I think what it is. And she gets a letter from herself 10 years in the future.
Oh, okay.
And it's kind of like telling her, hey, this day you're going to meet this kid and don't do this. Because if you do this, something is going to happen in the future. And it's literally her trying to navigate high school life when she encounters these situations that she told herself from the future and how she navigates that, not knowing what the effects are of whether or not she should listen to herself or not.
Oh.
So it's a very interesting kind of like sci-fi-esque slice of life show, manga, and I'm really intrigued. And so far it's been pretty fun, and it leads for a lot of awkward situations and fun. And I read the first 4 chapters of Comey Can't Communicate.
Hey.
And Comey is interesting. Is very interesting. I'm enjoying it quite a bit. I do find it crazy that the chapters tend to be crazy short. It's all like little vignettes. Like some chapters are 4 pages, some of them are 6 pages. There are 443 chapters though, but and still coming out. But Comey's a lot of fun. Have you guys checked out Comey?
I watched it on Netflix. I'm not fully caught up, but I watched a lot of it. It's super cute.
I've
I
only
need
saw
to
like a couple
know-
episodes.
In season 5, can she still not communicate? Like, how long are we stretching this out?
Anxiety is
it's not in season. It's not in season 5, is it?
Anxiety is a life.
Don't be playing with my emotions.
Like, she does get better though.
I understand this question though.
Yeah,
I
I'm not
like
judging.
AJ's
I just need to know.
I like AJ's suggestion. He's highly recommending the Apothecary Diaries. See, this is one that I've seen come up a lot. Have you guys checked it out? Because it looks interesting.
I want to say I've heard of AJ recommend this before, but I don't know.
Yeah.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. But yeah, a lot to watch. We've all watched a lot of different things. I like this. Jamie's a traveler confirmed.
Well, you know.
Yes.
Cover
Psalm
bone.
100 is my golden ticket.
Psalm 100 is great.
Art Winner in the chat says, Isaac, when someone mentions an old manga, do not cite Deep Magic to me. I was there when it was written.
That's a deep cut. Shout out to the Narnia reference.
Now, I have a question, Isaac. Have you read Orange?
I saw the anime years ago. I haven't read the manga.
Hey, Isaac.
So the thing is that the anime is incomplete, in my understanding.
Yes, Mike?
What rhymes with orange?
I don't know.
Orange.
Should we call
Jamie's
Eminem
right.
and ask
She
him?
gets a cookie.
Woo!
Don't feed
Shut
into
up.
that, Mike.
Shut up, dude. No one was talking to you. This is between me.
What
and
did I
Mike.
just miss? What did I just miss? What
Mike
just
said
happened?
I earned a cookie because I guessed the rhyme correctly.
Oh boy. So guys, are you guys ready for the main event? We've shared and discussed what we've been up to the last 2 weeks. A lot of manga, a lot of anime, a lot of stuff to read. Joe, everybody in the chat, thank you for sharing what you've been reading. I am very interested in checking AJ Apothecary Diary, so I might check that out and come back next week and talk my thoughts on it. So thank you for recommending. And also, all of you guys over there, feel free to join the chat and let us know what you've been watching. Now, one thing that we've all seen, I've seen a couple of episodes. I am almost done with season 4. It just came out today, and it is today's anime spotlight, and that is Netflix's Avatar: The Last Airbender. It's time to talk about it here. Yes, it is inspired by anime. It is an anime in my book. I don't see the anime has to be strictly only
Crunchyroll
based
selling
on
merch on
Japanese
it.
manga.
They
What?
are.
Hmm.
Crunchyroll selling merch on it.
Oh shit!
There you
Hashtag
go.
Illuminati.
Anime confirmed.
So
This
hey,
is
so you know,
ballsy, though,
in
'cause
other words, is that the evidence?
What
Is
did
that
you
how it
say,
works?
Mike?
That's the
If you
anime.
get merchandise in Crunchyroll, it's official. It's an
Mhm.
anime. Is that the word?
shout out to
Yeah.
Blackpink. They're an anime now.
Hell
Let's
yeah.
go.
No, but I'm saying this is crazy because not only are we covering a show that many people may not even think is an anime, we're covering the live action adaptation, which definitely is
Yes.
an anime.
Yes. Yes. So
This is what we're here for.
we all have thoughts. So I was wondering, I figure we do this differently.
Oh, boy.
As opposed to just jumping in and giving our thoughts first, I want to hear everybody's ratings.
Oh boy.
I have
And
only
then-
seen the first
and
two,
then-
so
And then we'll
Wow.
jump in.
Rate the
And then
first
we'll
two,
jump in.
Isaac. It's okay.
Go, Isaac.
from what I've seen so far, it's potential out of 10.
Is a what?
Potential
It's
out
a
of 10.
potential out of 10.
Isaac, rate the episodes you've seen. It's okay.
what you've
Lock in a
seen.
number.
Is it a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? What is it?
We understand the
Three-
caveat is episodes 1 through X is what I give
Three-
this score.
Exactly.
3,
I already said 1
3
through
of
4.
5.
3 out of 5.
5 out of
3
10?
5.
Okay, cool.
So
Jamie.
6 out of 10. Okay.
I'm giving it a 7 out of 10 for the series. I've seen the series.
Mike.
I've reviewed this thing like 70 times by now, and I still don't know what my official score is. So we're just gonna go with 7 out of 10.
Woo!
6.5. I don't know. Round number.
Okay.
Decimals
Okay.
don't matter.
Didge.
6.5 out of 10. I've also seen the whole series.
I've seen almost the entirety of episode 4. I'm a 4 out of 10.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh man. Aggressivo.
This is going to be interesting.
Talk amongst yourselves. No, it's
My hold up, time out, please. Sorry, I hate to do this. My
Yes.
headset cut out for a second. What was your score?
Oh man.
4 out of 10.
Oof.
Yes.
Oof.
Yes.
What happened? Because we watched the first episode together, and you seem like you enjoyed it.
Yes. See,
I was about to say the same.
so guys, the show just came out. So if you haven't seen it, we may spoil stuff. So I'm telling you right now, if you have not seen Avatar: The Last Airbender, at least till episode 4, we may spoil shit. So if
I'll
you're
be
still
real,
here,
you watched half of the show already 2 decades ago. You probably good. Not gonna lie.
that he's not lying at all. But still, I'm trying to be responsible. I'm trying to be a responsible host, Mike. That's all I'm trying to do.
But Isaac's not bringing the chaos, so I got to fill in.
I mean,
I'm
here's the thing though.
trying to be
What
nice
you guys
this
don't know
time.
is the irony of me wearing One Piece. I'm sending a message to the universe because here's how I feel. Here's how I feel. I wanted this to be as good as the live action One Piece, but it wasn't. So I'm wearing one piece attire.
I really want to
Because-
get into your thoughts, Brandon, because you got into this show. This
I
is
don't
like
hate
your
things.
this is your first watch through of the animated series, like over the last couple months.
Yes.
Right. So
Yes.
you are experiencing book one for the first time like a month and a half ago.
Yes.
Oh, that's right. Oh wow.
I
How does
love
it
I love
compare?
how AJ follows up with AJ following Mike's to Isaac's trend. Potential out of 10 is the perfect rating.
I'm not gonna lie, no cap, that is the perfect rating because at this point it's just like it's not better than the other one, but you know maybe season 2 will be cool. So potential out of 10 is an accurate description.
So you guys gave it a decent rating, not super high, right? But still
C.
above average, right? It's like an overall. You guys, if we round out you guys' rating, we're looking like a 6 out of 10, right? Which is still not great, but not horrible. Now,
Mine wouldn't have got a degree. My rating.
you put what?
My rating would not have gotten a degree.
You gotta do a little extra credit.
Yeah.
somewhere.
We talking curves now. So, so, um, so here's so
Yes, and mine's when the graduate.
Avatar: The Last Airbender, right?
Yes.
It has great potential. Everything that you want visually out of an Avatar live action series is 110% there.
Yep.
There's little things that bother me that I am very surprised they didn't think about, but most of it is pretty much perfect, visually speaking. There's certain things story-wise that are phenomenal and hit to the head. But after episode 2, yes, I haven't finished the series. My rating may go up if the last 4 episodes do a lot better on what my main problems are. But I feel that the series falls apart in a storytelling and narrative standpoint on episodes 3 and 4. It feels like the writers don't know what they want to do, and all they're doing is highlighting big moments of book 1 as opposed to focusing on the narrative. The way they pair up certain characters, the way they try to push things together, because of the sake of time, which I get. There's a way of and I hate to do this, but there's a way of doing it without losing the cohesion of the entirety of the narrative. And I know this because that's what One Piece did. It found a way to bring moments together and characters together sooner without losing the entirety of the story they're trying to tell. And like, you literally grabbed 5 different story arcs and balled them up together in 2 episodes just because of the convenience of the location. And there's no way that you can prove that that wasn't the reason. It's like for those that know the book or the show, know that they come to Amashu more than once. So there's no reason to do all the stories of Amashu in the same 2 episodes.
Especially since one of the stories is from season 2. It's not even in the same season.
Correct. which again, the return to Amashu is a big deal. Without the return to Amashu, there's no Ba Sing Se. Like it's that big. But I feel that it's crazy because, and that's kind of why I give it the score, because Gordon is Aang. He is phenomenal. I think Danielle is starting to grow on me on Zuko. Katara is great. Sokka is amazing.
Interesting.
Suki is breathtaking. So a lot of the things, there's a lot of things. Hey, I'm just saying that I'm saying it like it is.
No, I'm laughing more at Mike's agreement. That was great.
I
You're
love.
also not going to disregard Avatar Kyoshi like that.
Oh no. Avatar Kyoji was phenomenal. I do like the idea of them finding ways to tell us the lore quicker because they're fine, and I think those things work. but it's like they miss the point of it loses pacing because they're trying too hard and trying too much. And it's funny because to give you an idea of my frustration, the one thing that I was looking for in episode 3, do you know what that was? Mike, you probably know.
Tell me, because it's all a blur at this point. Sorry, that's what happens when you binge watched.
The guy with the cabbage cart.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I needed. But when it happens, I don't care because there's too much stuff happening.
They stretched that out for a very long time too.
No, but not even that. Like by the time you get to it, it's like it's all about the darkness of Omashu and not about the and like after everything they did on episode 3, by the time you get to King Boomy, it doesn't make any sense why Boomy is challenging Aang. And it falls flat. So I think the biggest thing to me is it's funny because they hit the ground running very decently, but as of right now where I'm at, they have no idea what to do with the material, which I find surprising because the first 2 episodes were great. So maybe I need to finish it before I give it my final rating. I'm going to finish it. But I can understand from a narrative standpoint why a lot of people have been giving them the thoughts that they've been giving them. Because it's not like there's simple changes that you can gloss over and be okay with, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's changes that kind of hurt the story, you know? And yeah. It's like, for example, there's that one moment where Katara finds the water sack that she always uses. And then for some reason, Jet's there. And for some reason, she freezes him just like the anime. And that needed to happen there because it happened in the anime. Like, there's little things that where you feel that they're trying way too hard to hit the highlights as opposed to just tell the story.
Yeah.
I would have
do-
rather they cut things as opposed to just trying to put everything together in the same spot. I think that's my struggle with it right now.
I got a question for you though. Have you seen the
Yeah.
movie?
Avatar.
Shyamalan
Well, here's
movie.
the thing.
Yeah.
Well, I've watched 10 minutes and shut it off.
Okay.
That was the right decision.
That's
Keep
the right
your-
decision. And I'm not gonna do this of like, hey, at least it's better than the movie, but I'm just putting that out there to say that this show suffers from the same thing the movie suffered. It does a lot of things better, but like that movie tried to do a season's worth of material in like 2 hours. And
Yep.
this is trying to do 23 episodes of material in
10.
8. Yeah. And so it's suffering from a lot of the same issues. Like performance wise, they're better, casting is more accurate. But yeah, like that's why it's frustrating because at the end of this, I think I would have, you're right, like rather than just cut things out or change things around in a way that makes sense, but it's like they're trying to hold on to so much from the original series that it's now making things not make sense, right? Like one thing that I was on the Film Optics podcast, Leo and I were guests over there with Christian. One thing that Leo pointed out was Aang doesn't run away in episode 1. I know we're loose spoilers, but like him not running away changes the consequences and like how he reacts and how Boomy reacts to all of that. And so it's like it changes the dynamic and relationship and his journey. And at first, it doesn't feel like it's that big of a deal, right? But if you try to keep the story the same, you now start to run into issues, you know?
Because he didn't run away.
Right. Another thing is like Sokka's sexism was a big thing on the internet. It's funny because that didn't hurt Sokka's character, but it did hurt Suki's character because now she doesn't have a lot to do. You know?
Yes,
and
so, it made it simply as, oh, she's falling for Sokka. And that's it. As opposed to, it's funny because it diminishes Sokka's recognizing her as a warrior. And that's
Right.
the whole point.
She doesn't
of that
even have an
arc.
arc as a warrior anymore. They turned her into a girl who wants
Ditch
to see the world.
dropping truth right now.
And it's insane. Like that's the to what Mike was saying. That's the like the damning part of that episode is that her whole thing is she is a warrior. She leads this troop of warriors on this island that is isolated from everything. She doesn't have.
And I
she
like
has
the
none of
episode.
that anymore. Yeah, the episode.
Yes.
Honestly, I didn't like the episode until the end. We were talking about that before.
Fair.
The ending, and that was an example, I guess, of a change that worked. But that's what saved the episode. Because before that, the episode was very forgettable.
Yeah.
The episode, like what happens in that episode? Again, you might know more than me. That's not even shade. Like legit, what happens in that episode? Because all I remember is that we go to Kyoshi Island, we meet Commander Zhao or whatever. Kyoshi shows up because it's like Suki's arc was not memorable or important to me. Yeah. So it's like it felt like a waste of time. It felt like a filler episode, in my opinion.
And you know what's crazy? I'm consistently surprised how phenomenal the freaking cast is.
Yeah, they're all great.
Like the casting department is great. Zuki is amazing. Kiyoshi is awesome. Jet was great. We got this guy from the Community playing Zai. Like casting, it's great, which is why it hurts me to say that the struggle is the script, which I'm so surprised.
Which is the thing you think you'd get right, because that's the easiest thing to port over from the original.
You would assume, right?
Because like the bending, I get if that's hard to make look good and all that stuff. Yes. But it's like you're Netflix too. You have Eren Ihas working down the street, working like on Dragon Prince. He co-wrote half of this show. Just call him if you need to. I don't care if Mike and Brian left.
Yeah,
you have the resources to make this show work.
Yeah.
And the script, and this is what I said when we covered it on the other channel. Avatar: The Last Airbender is a story-driven series, right? Like the bending and stuff is always secondary. So once you get the story wrong, there's not much left. Like at least, a show like Dragon Ball, nobody's here for the story, so nobody cares that much if you do something that like, oh, I didn't really like this, but hey, that fight was epic.
We're all here for the Kamehameha.
Right.
Or
here,
the Spirit Bomb.
Oh, Kyoshi showing up and wiping that entire fleet out was epic, but also I don't care what happened with, especially since Suki is a side character, essentially. Like, she doesn't come back for a long time. And that first impression was not good.
Right. See, and here's another thing. Like, I personally love the whole Kyoshi showing up, right? But even now, the one thing that comes to my mind as I'm talking to you guys is, wait a minute, we just saw her do what Aang is able to accomplish in the finale. So where do we go from here?
Well, to the show's credit, we do see Roku do the same thing in season 1 of the animated series.
Fair.
But
now but does that mean that now we're not going to enjoy or see Roku now because it just happened with Kyoshi? Because I don't think that happens. That doesn't happen in the anime. So is that going to lose? Because the whole thing with Roku, it's a lot more significant than what happens with Kyoshi, even though the change and her introduction was interesting.
So we can let everyone else talk in a second. But I do want to clear a thing up for you with that Kyoshi bit. That is the Roku scene. I mean, think about what happens in that moment of she shows up and you need to do this. This is your mission. X. Yeah. That is the Roku scene.
That is true. Yeah. See, I was looking forward for them infiltrating into that temple. But okay, fair. Fair. Now, I have one more nitpick, and I'm going to shut up. I don't want to complain about the show. There's things that I like, but yes, you guys know I normally don't hate things. I don't hate this. I want to love it. That's what hurts. How the hell do you have amazing bending, right? But when Katara hits someone with water, they're freaking dry. It's not that hard. Spit on someone, after they're hit with water bending. Like, how are they still dry? It makes no sense. I'm sorry. Am I
Not wrong.
being overly anal about this?
It's
But it's
I mean,
like
their power is water, and again, the first line in the cartoon is one of the first lines is, "When you're always playing with water, I get soaked." That's like the
Mhm.
second
Yeah.
line of the entire series. So for nobody to get soaked, I get it.
fair enough. Isaac, you're awfully quiet.
I mean, what the reason? How should I put it? When I watched the first episode with you and Mike, and it's the reason why I say potential out of potential out of 10 first. It's because when I also seen The Last Airbender, but it was years ago.
My
I can't.
condolences.
And then condolences on what part?
You seeing The Last Airbender?
Yeah,
That's rough.
that
That's rough,
the
buddy.
show, not the movie. That's what I
Oh.
mean. Sorry, I'm a bit
Oh well,
tired.
congratulations! I'm glad it's an epic show.
Yeah, but I also seen the movie, but that's a different case. But
Condolences.
and yes,
Carry
it's
on.
horrible. It's still better than Dragon Ball Evolution, though I'd argue, but that's doesn't say much. But anyway, it's for me personally, and maybe this is a nitpick for my book. Again, I've only seen the first 2 episodes, and maybe it's because there are so many different locations. But my biggest issue with this all is that some scenes looked cheap, whereas other scenes looked good and all that. Yes, and it just they had to prioritize certain. Did they want to prioritize certain parts of the show, or what have you? Because I don't know.
This show was shot on the volume, so that's probably
Everything
why.
on volume. It's everything on volume.
No, but like a show like The Mandalorian has the benefit of this is space. We're not exactly sure how this planet's supposed to look anyway, so they can kind of hide behind it. Whereas this is still trying to echo like a real world feeling, and so that's why some shots can look a little eh.
Because I'm just thinking about, for example, the beginning. Sure, you can't exactly shoot the show in Antarctic or something, but it looked green screen. Let us go with that. I mean, isn't Tomorrow Studio doing this show? And and you would expect that they put more money on the Avatar, The Last Airbender. Sure, it's not One Piece, but it is a big franchise in itself, I argue.
I think it's one of the bigger USA franchises, at least in animation.
Yeah,
it's something that's present in almost every con in a way, shape, or form. I mean, voice actors are highly regarded and sought out. You know what I mean? It's a huge property, you know, and it's a property that's never stopped growing, even after the show's ended, right? Like the literature on it keeps on coming out, right, Mike? Like it has multiple novels coming out.
Roku's getting a book this year.
Yeah, it's crazy.
There's a movie coming out next year. I saw.
Yeah, there's a lot coming. No, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, yeah, that movie is not a new announcement. That was just discussing film being shady. They had no reason to tweet that. That's not new news, not new information. They're just like, hey, here's the good one. It comes out next year. It's like, guys, chill.
I mean, you don't put an entire studio a subsection of a franchise if it's not big enough. Because didn't they do Avatar Studios or whatever they called it for Paramount when the creator left Netflix?
Yep, that's what they left. That's well on record. That's what they left for.
Yeah,
Yeah, so that should
to
tell
expand
you
the
something.
animated universe, which is great. But it's
Yeah,
one of those
that's
things
the
like
real one anyway, right?
yeah, right. The official, right? But
Mhm.
yeah, like the show. I mean, even and here is something also that I'm not. I hate talking about things that. But one of the thing that to me, it affected my suspension of disbelief. And y'all know me. I'm a gullible idiot. You don't need to
You
do much
know.
to win me over.
Wow.
I like
know.
things. But in that fight between Tsuko and Aang in Omashu, you can tell that Danelle was a lot better of a martial artist in real life than Gordon was. You know what I mean? You know, like
Yeah.
when you watch Iron Fist and you see the discrepancy in skill between the two actors. That's one of those things that I could notice. And again, he's a phenomenal Aang. But that's one of those things in live action that hurt my suspension of disbelief because I can catch those things, and I don't want to catch them, you know. But I have hopes. I will let you know. I will let you all know next week once I finish the series if my score has changed at all. I promise.
I will say episode 6 is my favorite. You're not there yet.
Ooh.
So
Ooh.
once you get there,
Okay.
maybe you'll feel like I feel like it finds its footing a little bit more. I don't know who I was talking to. It may have been in the Discord server, but like this feels like the typical first season of like a TV show in like the 2010s.
Trying to
like,
find.
yeah, it's trying to find its path. Even the original series
Yeah.
did that. Where that's why book 2 and book 3 stick so much
Are like-
better in people's minds because that first one they're fighting pirates or they see a fortune teller and it's like, well,
blabbering hog monkeys.
yeah. And I love those episodes
favorite.
because it is like we are establishing the foundation of the show and the different locations and the team dynamic. So I think those episodes were still worth it. But season 2 is when they're just like all gas, no brakes. Let's go. Bossing say, fine talk. Let's get it. So this one is the same way where it's like there's a lot of things that you didn't get right. There's a lot of things that I love that I can't talk to you about yet until you get further on. So you have that to look forward to too.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a mixed bag for sure.
So I'm gonna say my rating is a potential 6 out of 10. Arc Winder says in the chat,
The
real
movie
talk,
by a long
what's
shot.
worse?
By miles.
The movie.
By miles.
Did you not catch when I said that I saw the first 10 minutes and shut it off?
This is the thing that I kind of, and this, don't take this the wrong way, Arc Winder. This is not any shade to your question. It's a legit question. But this is the thing I hate about internet culture, where it's like, we can't have a nuanced discussion of like, hey, this thing has flaws. It's either the greatest thing ever or the worst thing ever. And I feel like as a society, we established that movie is the worst thing ever. So even if I complain for an hour long on a podcast about this show, always know that this is 1,000 times better.
I legit tried to get a refund. I was so disgusted for that movie.
I watched it at home and I still wanted a refund.
I legit went to the box office like, yo, Marcus Theaters, y'all owe me some money. Like,
I did that with Venom. They gave me the money back.
Oh yeah,
you don't get a money. You get a free popcorn.
No, I ended up calling in afterwards. I got a free movie for it.
There was no movie in Bossing Say. AJ.
So no, there isn't. There isn't an Avatar movie, AJ.
At least something good came out of it.
Yeah.
What?
The free ticket, that is.
Yeah.
You wasted like 2 hours of your life, though.
Hey, look, I got it back. I guess I don't know.
So, Jamie, you've been in your corner of space, Jamie. What are you thinking? What are your thoughts about this maelstrom of thoughts and ideas about this show?
I feel like a lot of valid criticisms were said. I was surprised with your original 4 out of 10 rating because I'm like, there's no way.
I get it. I was at like a 2 out of 10 after episode 2. So like, if that's where he stopped, I get it. That episode
the first
sucked.
2 episodes was rough.
I would have stopped watching it if I did it for work.
I do that was kind of heavy-handed with some of the lore bits. I do remember that much. But as a whole, you'll definitely, and we've already said this, I think you'll enjoy it a bit more. But I come at this from a different perspective where I feel like y'all are super fans, and I'm just like, oh, Avatar, that was a cool show. Like, I enjoyed it. So
Yeah.
watching the live action adaptation, I have fun. I definitely recognize that there are some like elements that have been lost in translation. Like I was saying while we were watching through this first season that Aang as a character, and Mike also mentioned this earlier, but Aang as a character is just completely different than what he was in the anime or the cartoon. I really miss his like goofiness and kind of carefree attitude, I guess, because everything else that happens in this show is very I won't say like super serious, but they have like a serious task in front of them. And so
Man getting
having
set on
like
fire 5 minutes in.
yeah, that was crazy. But that was just like, ooh, action, fun. Like I don't know this man, but fun. So I do miss that, and I'm not sure if there's a way that they can inject that into season 2 at this point, because kind of like you established what these characters are, unless something that Trayvon, shout out to Nerd with the Tech, has mentioned is that he wants season 2 approved today as soon as possible. Because these actors, they are young, and they're getting older, like just between how we've seen them in the show and looking at some of them on the press tour, like you can clearly see that they're I won't say like much older because they're still they're all
Aang's voice is
still kids,
is 2 octaves lower. I'm just
right. So there's a big difference, and I think they could take advantage of that with saying like as Aang has matured, maybe he's learned I should chill out a little bit, like like being the avatar, like yes, you have this responsibility, but no one wants like no one wants someone that's just like, I don't know, all in their head all the time. Like you gotta have a little bit of fun. So that's something I definitely miss the most. Outside of that, I think there are some character elements like what you were mentioning with Sokka and how that affects Suki, and not just like their relationship, and other events that did impact me in a way, but I don't feel like they impacted me as much as it did for you guys. Because we'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens with Suki, because she comes back, and so I'm curious how they're going to handle that now. Susan's comment not having the timer thing, that's also interesting.
I can't wait to get into that.
Yeah. But yeah, I feel like you all had valid criticisms, but just for me, I guess don't think about some of those things too deeply. I'm like, we're going to live action, so I'm automatically like, as long as they get the visuals right, which Brandon did point out, they definitely have nailed the visuals. The bending is great. Another thing Trayvon would have said,
100%.
yeah, another thing Trayvon would have said, the Earthbenders aren't just moving one pebble or one stone. Like they're actually like making movement with a lot of these big rocks and boulders, which is cool to see. So that's really what I wanted out of this. I wanted that. I think they touched on a lot of the big story points that I personally can remember. So I'm like, okay, we're doing cool with that. They have been, grandma with just the spilling the lore, just not in a tactical sense at all. Just like, yeah, 1,000 years ago, the fire.
That scene, I feel like encapsulates all of our problems, though, where it's like, we didn't have to do this. It very much felt like this is Avatar's greatest hits. We have to.
Yeah, let me lore dump real quick.
See,
Yeah.
and to me, that's what pains me. And I really hope that I do enjoy and here's the funny thing. When I saw Aang crying when he's burying Gyatso, I teared up like crazy. That to me broke me for 5 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like the cast is great, certain things are great, but yeah, it's like like the whole thing with Omashu and the why do we have to have the musicians and the badger moles already in episode 4? Like, I'm okay with seeing them later because
but
we have to
Brandon,
go see
We
King
only have
Boomy
so
again.
much time, though,
That's
which
what
is always the
they're
issue.
planning. They're not going back to Omashu.
but-
That's the plan. I feel like it.
See-
here's the thing: it's a season 2 storyline. Worry about that in season 2. Why are we shoehorning that into season 1?
Yeah.
And that's where it's like, if we don't,
And
and
that's
that's
what
the
I
thing.
mean.
If they were
Yeah.
if they were confident in the story that they were telling, I don't need to hear the minstrel sing Secret Tunnel in live action.
Mm-mm.
It's
No.
fine. Just cut it. I don't care.
I
And
agree with that.
Yes.
and that's the thing of where it's like, that's why to me, I feel
You don't
like
even
it's
need
not,
the tunnels.
yeah, it's
that
not,
doesn't
it's
need
not
to
even
happen.
me being like super fanboy. I want it this way. It's more of a like
Yeah.
I know what the story is, and you made weird choices with it of like Dij was saying earlier with Boomy, that entire episode doesn't make sense because they changed it. And if you're gonna change it, at least change it to make sense. Because like Aang is complaining to Boomy of, why are you making me do all these trials? Let me leave, blah blah blah. And it's like, in the original, Aang had to do the trials to save
Because-
Sokka and Katara.
Yes.
But
Yes.
if they're not there and he doesn't have to save anybody,
He
walk
can just
out the
turn
door.
around. Yeah.
Right. And so it's like, now it doesn't make any sense. I would rather you have it be a random person, have it be the mechanist who's now kidnapped. I don't care. But like, you took
Even
the agency out of that scene and now it makes zero sense.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's crazy that you say that because I think the biggest problem is that we don't have a proper we may not have someone running the writers room properly because they're trying to put everything in as opposed to having someone say, okay, we're going to cut this out and we're not going to do this that the anime did because we want to expand on this. See, that's one of those things that makes The Last of Us one of the greatest adaptations ever made, is because they knew where to say, we're not doing this.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to add this and expand this. We have to keep this. Like they had a Bible that told, like they made a story Bible. And I feel like there's not really a story Bible here.
Yeah.
It's only like, oh, remember that cool thing in episode? Remember that cool thing in book? Remember that cool thing here? Oh, look, all of this rhymes with, you know what I mean? As opposed to,
Oh man.
Not
We
too
have-
much though.
we-
I got like 9 TikToks lined up of being, remember this cool thing from that thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say you
Go check out
you're
the-
running a lot of TikToks with that statement, man.
with what statement specifically?
The oh, look at this cool thing. Look at this cool. That there's a
Like,
lot
hey,
of
did
lot
you
rhymes
know
on
this
that.
was from this?
Yeah.
I already dropped 4 of those today.
Yep.
Hey, man, that's awesome.
You know?
But yeah, like I really hope that if it does get renewed,
Mhm.
which, okay, so let's. I think this may have been a better question, Arkwinder. It's better than Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah.
Cowboy Bebop didn't have an identity like the anime.
Gosh,
It was nowhere close to even the spirit of the anime, based also on what Shinichiro Watanabe, the creator, said.
Yes.
This one has a lot of potential. I couldn't say that about the Cowboy Bebop adaptation, but this has a lot of potential, and the cast is great. The problem is not the cast. They just need what Oda is doing with the live action One Piece. They need to get the scripts right.
They
Yeah.
tried to get their Oda and they left. So
Yeah.
maybe we're screwed.
You know, it's funny, like when you're kind of breaking down, like,
Okay,
yeah,
I'm
look
dead.
at this thing,
Guys,
look at
it's been nice.
that thing. But when you're breaking down, like, oh, remember this thing from that thing, or oh, look at this thing from this thing, it kind of made me think of how I felt about the season 1 of Halo. Or I'm like, they kind of pick and chose, like, oh, this thing, or like this gun, like we have the plasma pistol, you like the plasma pistol, right? And then everything
you
else
get a
is like,
moment?
where's the
When
rest
did you
of
get a
Halo
moment?
though?
Yeah.
And so I will say there is hope, because I feel like season 2 of Halo is actually, it's being more of a Halo show than season 1. It has some of those like key
Nice.
like sci-fi political elements to it. So don't doubt these writers. Maybe they can turn things around.
Yeah, and I haven't finished the show. I haven't finished
Also
the
that,
show.
yeah.
I remember
It
it's a
does get-
potential 6 out of 10.
It does get a little bit better, I will say.
It
like,
does.
episode 6, you'll enjoy. The
I'm
finale is
hoping.
also solid. Still makes a dumb choice in there, but we'll get
Yeah.
to that.
So if I
another day.
hate episode 6, then it's
If you hate episode 6, it's over. Yeah, you're not gonna have fun. But to Jamie's point, I was actually talking to my friend Caleb earlier today. This show has that potential to grow, and this is why I'm glad, contrary to what Trayvon wants, I'm glad they didn't film this all back to back, because I think they need the feedback, because Halo
Yes.
probably got better because of that feedback. And it's like, hey, the fans are being fanboys and they're being too harsh. It's like, well, they made the adjustment and they made it better.
Yeah.
Yes. See that, and that to me makes me worried that they require the feedback, but at the same time, I just hope that it actually reaches the ears of the people that make decisions, and they actually make decisions because of it, and smart decisions. You know what I mean? Not like End of Evangelion, where the creators just gave a big middle finger to everyone that loved the show. Like, you know what I mean? So I really hope
I love Inside
that
Jones.
it's for the better, and I really hope Netflix
What did you say, Mike?
allows them to do a season 2, because that's the horrible. That's what hurts about all this, because I don't want to be part of the problem of why a season 2 doesn't happen, because I want a season 2.
Same.
Because I want it to get
Me
better.
too.
I want them to get another chance.
Well, I don't even think.
But I'm
every
not
choice
gonna
that
lie
they
to you,
made-
people.
Well, I don't even think every choice that they made this season was terrible. We
True.
definitely
It's
talked
not
a
all
lot
of them.
about all of their
It's
choices
just some of them.
in a bad light. Well, I want to highlight 2 of the ones that I think were really good. Granted, they're basically the same. I think them having Ozai. At first, I was really like, "Why are you showing Ozai immediately?" Daniel Day
But
Kim.
that actor though.
It was Daniel Day Kim, great. But
Bruh.
how he played Ozai in the short scenes that we saw him, and Elizabeth Yu as Azula in the short scenes that we saw of her, both of those changes I think worked really well. Like I was happy to see those changes at the end, because how they characterized them and where you can see their arc going, it works. Like this Ozai, he's very much a sociopath, like the animated one, but he almost feels like he kind of has a heart. Like he almost feels like he has a heart for family in a sense, where it's I want you to be better. I'll hurt you if you're not, but I want you to be better. So it's
also kind of like a window. Like, this is where Azula gets it.
Yes.
Right.
So I like the fact that Ty Lee and like
May.
her two and May are there, because I like that inclusion of them in the beginning. Like, we're getting the full combo from the start, and
Not
the
too
little
much on
back and
Endeavor.
That's why it almost has a heart. That's why he doesn't full on have it.
He hesitated for a moment. He's like, "Nah, I'm gonna do it."
He almost looked sad, because I actually was just rewatching the scene a little bit ago. He almost looked sad, like, "Why are you making me do this to you?" And it's like, that's a horrible thing to do, but it's like animated Ozai would have just we saw the scene. He damn near was gleefully doing it. So it's like it felt a little bit more human. Granted, like I said, a very horrible human, but it wasn't a one note villain.
Yeah.
So this is why the show is a mixed bag, because you're completely right. You're entirely right. But this also leads to an issue I have of, like, why did we spend more time give more development to Katara? And it feels
that's
like
fair.
we spent time with Azula.
Another point.
And
I
Ozai.
want more
Go ahead,
Appa and Momo.
We ain't got
All right,
money for
continue.
that,
We
I'm
ain't got the
sorry.
budget for
She
that.
was an entire show. It's just Appa and Momo.
You
in
know,
the forest,
Appa and Momo,
helping
put
some- you know
Chopper in there. Show of the year.
Sure, why not?
Show of the year.
So Jamie's objective for 2024 is to put Chopper in everything.
Exactly. I literally there's a Crunchyroll statue of Chopper on sale right now. I was so tempted.
You didn't end up buying it?
No, I didn't.
You know
buy
what,
it.
Jamie? Sometimes I worry about you having access to the internet. Because every
Dang.
time we're chatting, you're always looking for something to buy.
What? Dang, you know it's
Swiper
crazy.
with the dollar
Ginge used to be
sign.
like that.
I mean,
Yup.
that
Ginge
box
used to
of
be
cookies,
like
that.
that. Every
No,
time
not
he
too
would look
much.
at
Insomnia
something,
be like that, though.
he'd be like, "Oh, I'm buying this."
Not
She's
too much.
never
Stay off
gonna-
me.
See, no, you
She's
rubbed
never
off
gonna
on me,
lose the
Ginge. It's your
accusation.
listen.
I did
Insomnia
see that box of
cookies.
cookies, though. Insomnia cookies slaps. Just saying. Does anybody else agree in the chat? Insomnia cookies is the best.
Yeah,
We
Um,
don't
They are the
have
best.
Insomnia cookies in Sweden, so I can't agree or disagree.
See, I need to see a picture of them Swedish cookies before I, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you gotta put us on game. I can go to Sweden.
Just for cookies.
Swiper with a dollar
Yeah.
sign.
Cha-ching,
Um,
cha-ching.
So, guys, I mean, I think I think I like the fact that my 4. See, I knew my 4 was going to spark a conversation, but I'm glad that we were able to air out everything because that's kind of what I want.
Oh no, we're
right?
not done. We
Because-
still got to talk about Sosa's comment.
But
I got a whole rant about that. It's frustrating.
Ooh.
Hold on. Let Ditch
Okay,
cook.
okay,
now.
okay.
Let him cook.
Okay, wait. Everybody ready because we're gonna give Dig singles.
Oh
Tell us,
God!
Dig.
Sosa's comment is literally half the reason why I gave it the score it got. You took away every stake of this show. You can't tell me that this comment is non-existent now when the whole reason for Aang's journey being as treacherous as it needed to be was because the comet was coming at the end of summer. I get it. You couldn't do it 3 months because you're not going to film all 3 back to back. Make it 3 years. That's the movie did one thing right, and they made it 3 years instead of 3 months. Now you have the chance where you can do multiple seasons. You don't have to film it back to back, but you still have the thing of we have to do this. We have to. Now you have a built-in reason why Aang can't go ride the elephant koi because hey, we need to be training because this comet is coming in 3 months. But when you take that completely away, what's the reason for me doing this journey? I know I got to end the war, but why can't I do it in 5 years? Why can't I do it in 10 years? The comet made you so look, the Earth Kingdom will burn if you don't do it by this time. Now what's the reason? And that's all I got.
You know,
Dig be
I agree.
spitting.
It's so strange because, yeah, I feel like a lot of our issues is just pacing. That's really,
For sure.
I don't need the one for this. It's cool, though. I appreciate the effort. I'm not cooking today. I'm exhausted. So you can put it back now. You can put it back now. There you go. But yeah, it's really just a pacing thing. Okay, Isaac,
All
you
right.
talk. Go.
Oh, I
What?
just saw his headline. He needs some jasmine tea. He's embracing his inner Iroh.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
Hey,
I
by
don't
the way,
need any calming tea.
by the way,
I should have made some tea.
he
for the
has
moment.
not mentioned tea in the last 3 episodes. I'm a little pissed about that.
The tea counter
That's
is
okay.
back. Everybody's counting how many times he references tea. No,
Go,
but
Mike, keep going. I'm sorry.
no, but like there is a lot of things that I enjoy in the show, and I want to take a second and talk about that because it's easy to get lost in the sauce of negativity or what they
For
need
sure.
to fix or what they need to do
For
better.
sure.
So, number 1, Appa. He's really cute.
Yeah,
Amazing.
more.
Appa in the live action movie, he was terrifying.
I don't even remember him from the live action movie.
I don't
I'm gonna
remember
be
that
honest.
Hey,
Let
I never
me
made it
Google
past the
this.
first 10 minutes.
Good job. I'm proud of you. Number 2, the Fire Nation. I love everything with the Fire Nation. I love Shao. I love Azula. I love Ozai. I love Zuko. I love Iroh. Like, I feel like that's that. I feel like that's the strength of the show is how they handle the Fire Nation and the royal family. I liked seeing Sozin and the Comet at the beginning of episode 1. I thought that was a neat addition. I like that we get to see all the previous avatars in their respective nation. And contrary to you, Brandon, I did like that we mixed the Mechanist and the Jet storyline. We didn't need the Return to Amashu storyline. That was overkill. And the Boomy storyline. There was a lot going on there. But I did like the mystery whodunit type of aspect that they were going with these 2 shady characters we're introduced to.
Fair.
Could have made it a
Fair.
little cleaner, sure. But
Yes.
those are the type of changes that I want more of, I guess, where it's like, hey, you're doing your own thing. This isn't just a 1-to-1. Because once you do it as a 1-to-1, now I'm just saying you're doing it worse. And I think that's where the frustration comes from, where it's like you're doing the thing that's already on Netflix. I can just flip
Ooh,
Uh-oh.
to
Mike
do
froze
your
a
own
bit.
thing, you know?
you froze a minute. You froze,
Oh, you
you froze
froze
for a
for a
minute.
second.
I'm back.
But I think we
I
got
think
what
I'm
you're.
back.
I get
You
what
are.
you're saying. Is like they need to know if they're gonna put like they need to know when enough is enough. And
Yeah.
I think that's what they didn't know what to do. They just kept going. "Ugh."
It's something that Christian was mentioning on his podcast, and we never really came up to a satisfying conclusion. But he was like, "Who is this show for?" And I want to pose that to you guys. Who is this show for? Because One Piece was very much for people who weren't a fan of One Piece, right? Like
They didn't know. Yeah.
people who did like One Piece, they still enjoyed it. But like, I feel like that show was very much like, hey, you've never watched this series or read this book, where this is your introduction to it. Whereas this one feels like it's playing the nostalgia thing of like, you know this, we're trying to remind you of this and invoke that. But I wanted your guys' takes on it.
See, I disagree with the One Piece. I get what you're trying to do, and it works. But with One Piece, the one thing that they were able to accomplish is that they did it for both, and which is the hardest thing to do. And I think that's why it was so successful. Because even though it did provide a great, clean, and simple way for people that have never been in contact with the Grand Line to jump in, everybody that's been there before was able to enjoy it for the first time in a different lens and feel like, oh, wait, this is actually more of what I already love. And that's what was very different. Now, this one,
I guess the reason I
to
phrase it that way is Luffy is a very different character in live action One Piece. Well,
yes,
for the most part, like he's still
Yeah.
the spirit of Luffy's still there, but you get what I mean. Where it's like,
yeah,
in this one,
he makes
they
sense
kinda-
when he talks a little bit more.
right? Whereas in Avatar, it's like, hey, they try and keep a lot of them the same, but then change
Yeah.
the most important part of Aang, and now it's like this is
Yes.
weird.
They lose the essence of what actually makes that character click and work for most people. It's funny. The one character they got most right was Sokka. And that's kind of crazy. You would figure the one they would get the most right was Aang.
I
and
feel
when
like
you
they
see
got
him for the
Zuko a lot.
he's
Granted,
growing on me. as
Season one,
quite a
Zuko was
bit.
just very much a teenager who was just mad. So
I'm
Yeah.
just a kid.
he's playing very mad teen well. Like
So
he's doing that great.
I think that's the one thing about Avatar: The Last Airbender. I don't think it was made. It's funny. I don't think it was made for people that didn't know about it, and that's kind of why it's not being successful. It was made for people that know what it is.
And the people
Whether
that know what
they're
it
big-
is are frustrated with it. It sounds
I
like
feel like
Yeah. I think that's where, because they're when you see something like this as just playing highlights. I mean, I kind of want to hear what someone thinks of it that's never seen it, but it's really hard for me to think that someone that doesn't know what it is has seen it, especially because of how big Avatar is.
I'm gonna let Didge speak in a second because I know he had a thought. But to answer that, I do know people who've watched this show and haven't interacted with anything else Avatar: Last Airbender, and they hate it, and they're like, "I can't believe y'all were hyping up this kid shit for 20 years. This sucks."
Wow.
yikes.
Yikes.
That's
yeah,
disappointing.
and so you can't even hit them with the "Hey, go watch the original." They already lost interest, and this is why bad adaptations piss me off because now you just lost part of a potential audience.
Yeah.
Anyway, go Didge.
I was gonna say I think this is made for the people to bring back up Trayvon like him, who he's seen the show, he has fond memories of it, but he doesn't remember everything. Or like Jamie, where they have good memories of the show, they know the world, but they're not so tied in where you're not remembering everything. You're questioning like why did you do this? Why did you do that?
Yeah.
It's the familiarity with being unfamiliar.
Yeah,
That's a very niche audience. Then
It is. It's a super niche audience.
and that's not what you wanted it to be. I don't think anybody wanted.
yeah, nobody
like,
aims for that.
the
No.
fans wanted this to be a new way of enjoying something they love already. But you would assume a content creator like Netflix that their goal would be to hook people that have never seen it before, because the goal for, in my opinion, the goal of a streaming service to grab an IP as big as this, their goal is, I'm going to make my own version of it, because I want people to use my streaming service. And I want them to not just see this, I want them to see everything else that's close to this. So they spend more time using my service. And that's kind of like not what happening, based exactly what you said, Mike, which is kind of sad. Jamie, you had something?
I didn't, but I can say something if you would like.
Yes, please say something.
Yeah.
Bring Chopper back.
I feel like, yeah, absolutely. And introduce Chopper. You've got at least me. You got me locked in. Oh God.
I want to remind the
No.
4 nations that Chopper does not exist in this universe. Just so we're clear.
Yes.
I don't think anybody cares
it
at this point.
happen. We can make it happen.
You make it happen.
In that case, Ben 10 shows up. It's going to change everything.
Oh boy, that would be.
Can you imagine
that'd be
Toph
wild.
first appearance is with a Chopper hat?
Hilarious.
Yes.
But yeah, I do feel like so far, and I haven't talked with a lot of people that have seen this, and this also just came out, so the sentiments we'll start to understand more moving into the future. But for me and Trayvon, I feel like we probably enjoyed it more than other people on the server did. And it's like, we weren't super attached to the show, but we still have fond memories. We're still looking forward to like the bending and the action and like different character moments. And I agree with you guys. That's not who you want to go for when it comes to selecting your target audience for an adaptation. Like, you still definitely want to serve those people, but who you should be going for is people like you guys that you've been burned before with a live action adaptation, and all you guys want to see is just like I don't even want to put like the word faithful out there, because it's like, just bring the Avatar universe to life in your own way. Make it make sense.
Yes.
And I feel like most people will walk away happy at the end of the day. So yeah, they're definitely going to have to do a little bit of restructuring when it comes to season 2. That will hopefully be approved in the next couple of weeks or so.
Yeah.
But yeah, targeting me, I appreciate it, but that was the wrong move.
Yeah, I mean it's a lot. I mean, like I said, when as I finish the series, next week, by the time we get to next week, I will have finished the series. So I promise that I will share that with y'all. You guys got anything else on Avatar: The Last Netflix's Avatar: The Last Airbender?
I guess my last thing is that Netflix, if you're listening, which I know you are, Netflix, I need you to realize that valid criticism is just because we care. Like,
yes,
they're so
we're not telling you to cancel this shit.
That's
not what we're saying.
Yeah, and it's gotten to the point where even my mom was like, Mike, y'all's views are being way too harsh. I don't want them to cancel this. And I was like, they've built the reputation where even my own
yes
was like, hey, skew the reviews a little bit so they don't think they need to cancel the show. And it's like, don't do that. Just adjust.
It's still certified fresh.
Yes.
No, it's not.
Yes.
It just went back up. I'm looking
God.
at it right now.
It hit 58 and it was rotten for like
it's back at
4 hours.
It's back at 60.
Yeah.
That's
but
good.
No, Be the Leaf, change, best book of Korra, do that thing.
So all you need to do is so I have to watch the last 4 episodes, and hopefully I'll be able to rate. If I raise my rating 2 or 3, see, but I want to be honest. Damn it, I feel pressure.
Potential out
Don't
of
feel
10.
pressure, It's okay.
Potential out of 10.
No, but those
Yes.
I did really enjoy the last few episodes. I'm just skirting around it because I know you haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
There's a couple things that really bug me, but they don't bug me as much as the earlier parts of the show. So take that how you will.
It even got to the point where like even I was like, what is going on? Like, I don't think this happened in this way.
And for a story and for a okay, I'm gonna shut up.
I know we're kind of talking in circles, but like, again, I've made videos upon videos of like why Avatar's story is one of the tightest stories ever written.
Yes.
And that's why, again, I may sound like super
And this ain't tight.
but it's like if you're gonna start changing that story, you've got to be really, really specific with how you do it and how you approach it. And I want them to change it. That's the crazy part. It's like I want changes, but again, Aang was fighting a battle for an entire episode that made 0 sense. We're in book 1 called Water. Halfway through the series, he ain't been in water.
Yeah, he's not touched a drop.
You know, and so it's like, okay. Bye, Brandon.
Oh no.
Yikes.
Well,
but yeah, so I think going forward, they'll be fine.
I needed a breather. I needed a breather after that statement.
yeah. It was surprising for us all.
So even though he didn't run away in the beginning of the show, he ran away from training. So
that's the interesting part.
These are our thoughts on Avatar, Netflix's Avatar: The Last Airbender. What did you guys think about it? Did you guys love it? Did you guys enjoy it? Did you guys hate it? Are you contributing to upping the tomato meter or bringing it down? I think as a group, the Amateur Otaku believes it can be better, and we want it to be better. We do not want Avatar to be canceled. We want more of it, but we need them to think about the things that matter. Because
they at least try to make it a good adaptation, from what I can hear, unless compared to Cowboy. So,
I mean, I feel like every adaptation tries. You don't get an award for trying.
I wouldn't say Cowboy tried, but
I mean, they failed, but they tried. Like nobody's gonna try and make a bad thing.
Overall, it was not the best, but they did some cool stuff.
They made an attempt.
I don't know who at Netflix hates me, by the way. Like they really went after my favorite anime of all time and then my favorite show of all time and gave me mid. And now they're doing My Hero Academia. Like I'm done. I'm gonna burn that place to the ground.
Oh wow.
And this is how the Amateur Otaku gets canceled.
Villain origin story level stuff here, Brandon. I barely watch anime, and I'm being the victim of all these terrible anime adaptations.
Don't worry. Full Metal Alchemist has already been ruined, so you don't have to worry about it.
No, they canceled one too many shows that I love. I'm with Mike. I might join them.
You got Warrior Nun back, so that's
not really though.
Hey, they just
I'm happy with that. Arcwinder is not bringing attention to the problem. They're gonna make the show look good. They just need to make it good.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can get more caution about like Oda, considering those shows that they have the creator involved. Those seems to go the best. Just look at Witcher, for example, when the Marvel show, except for Iron Fist season 1 and One Piece and Cowboy Bebop, yada yada yada. It all they clearly need input from the creator to make it.
I see.
Is Kohei involved in the Netflix thing?
He hasn't confirmed, but there was a report that said he was. So we'll see. I feel like you know how you get those little like writer's notes in Shonen Jump every week? I feel like he'd be like, hey, I'm working on a new show. But since he hasn't said that, like I don't know if that report's real, because I feel like Kohei would definitely say that.
Yeah. Well, this is it, guys.
I mean, he might do that as soon as we hear that they started more with they're closer to start the production or something.
Possibly.
Well, guys, if you enjoyed this episode, make sure you give us a like and subscribe so you don't miss a thing. If you enjoyed this, check us out on TikTok as well, on Twitter. Follow us there. Everybody's socials on the screen. If you are listening to the podcast feed, I'm sure somebody's going to remember to put all the socials in the description. I'm tasking you, Brandon.
I'm doing that, and I put the Reddit on the also. So.
We're on Reddit too, apparently. Woo! I'm never there, but I hope it's hopping.
There's a Mad Doc just going like this. I like Jujutsu Kaisen. Youth is a better main character.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're going to let you leave. Until next time, stay flaming. Peace.
Keep as you want to.
Flame on!
That's
Flame
still the
on.
human.